we've got a sample standard deviation of about 0.025 pounds. Yes? How can we use that? How can we use that? And what I might recommend doing is you think about the way we constructed margins of error for proportions and see if you can make some kind of an analogy. Linda, what are you thinking? Plus or minus that for the average? So maybe take these guys together. X bar plus or minus S. Fair enough so far? So that would give us an interval of 0.526 minus 0.025. Check my math on this one. That's going to be 0.501 pounds up to 551 pounds. Did I do that right? Did I do that math right? Check my math on that one. All right. How much confidence do we have in that estimate? Oh, I'm over, Kendra, I'm over 68%. Why are you saying 68%? Thank you.
One standard deviation.
You went one standard deviation out, right? So maybe we should go 2 out to make it 90%? Maybe? Does that make sense? 95, excuse me. 2 out, 95. I'm saying 90. 95, sorry. Let me reclaim that. Good. So let's bump out 2. X bar plus or minus 2 S's. 2 S's. That's going to be 0.5, isn't it? 0.05. So that's going to drop down. Let me do the up further. I do that in my head. Up 0.05 is going to be, it's a 0.05 or 0.25 more from this. So 576, if I did that right. And then if I take another 25 away from this, that's going to be 1 minus 5, 6. Carry the 1, 4, 1, 6. Did I do that right? Did I do that right? No, it's too many.
476.
76, thank you. I realized as soon as I wrote it down, it's tracking the wrong way. 95% confidence now? Fair? Anybody? So, let me swing back to this board again momentarily. Can we go 99%? Right, Chloe's back there going, 95 is great and all. And what do you notice as we keep increasing the confidence? What happens to the intervals? They're getting wider and wider and wider. Okay, good, good. So let me ask a related question. Suppose I ran a similar study to this one, but it had 300 burritos instead of 30. And just, not that this would actually happen in reality, but just suppose, for example, that summary statistics screen looked exactly the same, except that was 0.5260, blah, blah, blah. That was the same. All of it was the same, except that now said 300 instead of 30. Now, this would never actually happen in reality. There'd be fluctuations from the samples. But just theoretically speaking, suppose it did say 300. How would you expect your confidence intervals to change if your sample size went up? Kendra's got to vote for they're going to shrink, they're going to get smaller. Is that fair? Good. Would they if we constructed them like this? They wouldn't, would they? If we did them the same way you guys just did, they would be the exact same intervals, wouldn't they? Because nowhere in there did we account for the sample size. Remember, there has to be an accounting somewhere. There has to be an accounting somewhere in the construction of the interval for the sample size. Let's come back. Let's take a pause. Take a pause from that for a moment. Let's swing over here again. Let's go back to proportions. Let's go back to proportions.